Hello everyone, what's up guys? Let's see if our stream is actually working on different platforms. Um, so it looks fine on Twitch, so Twitch is actually good. Uh, LinkedIn is kind of not that good. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, guys, welcome back to the new episode. This is episode 46, and I think we are almost we are going towards the finish line for the first MVP of this project. So yeah, so it's remaining this and this screen sets, and then the one we'll be working on today, which is this particular screen. Yeah, so I think that's it. After that, there will be some changes to the app, trying to make sure that everything is working fine. And then yeah, after watching, so we also need to add the psychology part of the app too. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, so if you guys are seeing these yeah, so this is basically the project I worked on Sunday. So basically I've been doing this challenge to be releasing app prototype on every Thursdays and Sundays, so kind of like twice a week. Yeah, and each particular project I needs to finish it on that particular day. So mostly I kind of finish them within 10 hours or 8 hours, thereabout, sometimes 12 hours to finish the project. And that's two times a week. And I've been doing that since this month. So if you want to see more about that, you can check on my Instagram, LinkedIn, and other places where I post them. Yeah, that's it. So basically this is kind of like a desktop app with flutter. So if you look, it's a desktop app and not a mobile phone. Have this animated sidebar buttons, and you have this like this search input where you can actually add a chip with any search feature, any search text that you want. Kind of like shows up there. When you tap on the enter button on your keyboard, it shows up there, and you can actually delete those, get them deleted. And you have this slider, and you have the maximum side of it. So I think that was basically what I did there, and most of the everything is just implementing the UI functionality. Nothing much. I'm just trying to implement the UI functionality so that it could be reusable by anyone that's trying to build a project like that. I have it's actually responsive too, so I made it responsive. I have it showing up. Actually have reduced the height from here. That's it. Yeah, that's everything about the project. So if you want to check it out, I will be posting this on Gumroad, and also yeah. So if you want to also get access to how I kind of like build this and most of the stuff I do in person, I'll kind of like get in-person mentorship with me. I have Patreon page where you can actually sign up and have me kind of mentor you on your stuff or something like that. Yeah, I think that's it. So let's close this and get back to work. So open a new terminal. So there's a new terminal. Head over to, let's see, not like I need to close all this stuff. So we have what we want to work on open. So not everything should be open. So just do the stuff we want to work on, and we want to build the that should be what's it called again? The favorite screen. So let me open this up. So how do we get to the favorite screen? That should be from this, yeah, this part of the screen. So you head over there, profile. So tapping on this place should take us to the favorite screen. Do we have that already? Articles, auth, chat, consultation, curve, home, launch screen, make appointment, onboard, profile. So I don't think we have that yet. So we have to add it here. So that should be sub screen for profile. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so right on the, yeah, we are going to create a new presentation, basically a screen. We're going to call that favorite underscore screen dot, and it's basically gonna have to be a stateful widget, not stateful. Wait a second. Okay, yeah, stateful widget. Like I said, the name is favorite, that's the name we gave to it. Let's see. So favorite screen. So delete this and import our material and package. Just basically return empty stuff, container. No, that makes sense. We return a scaffold. Yeah, which we don't need the app bar widget. So remove the app bar widget. Just, oh, we don't have an app bar in our app. So just basically save this. Head over to your pages. So inside our routes section, routes, and in here, we're going to add profile, not edit address, but basically profile favorites. Change this. Yeah, so we have that profile favorite, and then we enter our pages. And so our pages, that should be under change password. So just copy this, or just underscore, not underscore, create a new get page. The page name is going to be routes dot profile favorites, and the page we want in here is basically going to return favorite page that we created. So favorite screen, and that's it. Save this, and you can restart the app and head over to the what's it called, the profile screen. And then for that button that basically shows up favorites, this favorite button, inside it we're going to add a function that's going to take us to the profile page. Okay, that should be this one. Yeah, this. Under here we're going to say, okay, there's the name, the URL, copy that over, add that here, replace that with this, save this, restart the app. So once the app is restarted, just head over here and tap on this. It should actually take us to this widget that we created there, which is favorite screen. And there we go. So here's our favorite screen. Take a look. So it should look something like this. So this is what we are aiming for. So we want to kind of get the whole stuff to look exactly like this. And yeah, we can do that. So first of all, head over here. We're going to copy some stuff from our profile screen. So we have a scaffold, safe area, and a column. So we do the same here. So remove the center widget. Once that is removed, you can actually go ahead and remove the text. We don't need that. So have a safe area in there. Inside the safe area, we want the child property to basically be a column. I think that makes sense, yeah. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I think that this is okay. So inside here, then we could actually go ahead and add our button, which is basically this part of the screen. So we copy this and this, so there's no need of writing it back again since we already have it here. So that should be, let's be sure about that. So constant spacing, not this. I should get that from the edit profile. So that's where we did something similar. Okay, yeah. So we have this row that has a button and a main heading. So go ahead and copy this. And if you go ahead and paste this inside our favorite screen. Okay, there's an error. So this should have a children property. And inside the children property, you are just going to kind of like add all the stuff that we need in there. Stuff we just copied. Import this. Restart. No, not restart, but just format everything. Save this. So there we go. So we have this heading. That's what I'm trying to add. Basically add this heading. But it needs to say favorite and not basically edit profile. So let's change the text. So got to meant to say profile. No, it says say profile. It says just say favorite. Favorite screen test 1. Okay, yeah. And we're going to name that to be, say something like favorites, like what we have here. Or we could just go ahead and copy the text we have here. So this is how to copy it from here. Copy the text out and then use it in place right here. Go ahead and save this. And we go ahead and start using it. So it says favorite, so that's what we are looking for. We got that working. So the next one is just to add this section inside it, and that should be somewhere. Let's see. Okay, under the row widgets, I'm going to create a container. Should it be a container? Instead of creating that in here, I think what I need to do is to so I'm going to move the whole logic for this particular feature. So this kind of like looks like a slider. When you tap on this, it slides to this. No, when you tap on this, this slides to this end, and this becomes white, and the text changes to articles. When you tap on this side, it becomes so. To do that, I'm going to basically copy a code that I've been using in my previous projects. So no need of trying to recreate all the whole stuff from the beginning. I think it will actually make sense to actually move all this to be a package so that if anybody can use it in the public. So that's what I'm thinking. I can actually move that to be a package. So this is the code I'm looking for. So called that not custom button. Should be theme button. Yeah, theme button. So I'm going to copy all this. Just copy that and head over here. and I'm going to create a separate class. Even if we kind of like copied it, I will still need to do some changes to it. So in here, I'm going to create a widget. I'm going to call that favorite tab button dot that is that. Or if you kind of like want to speed up your work, I think there's a package for this. Let me see, pub.dev, and inside pub.dev there should be a package called what's the name again? Tabs. So just looking out to see what but this kind of like a bit different, but yeah, that's similar to what we're looking for. This is actually close to it, yeah. And let me see what else is there. Okay, we have this. We also have this, but none of them is close to what we're looking for. So I need to get out of here, head over to the next one. We're just looking for us to see if there's a way to actually do this, speed up the work, or we could just do it by ourselves. But that will be after we have gone through the stuff here and see maybe there's nothing else to help us. Okay, none of them is working, so not that. Toggle bar. Okay, this is close to what we are looking for, but yeah, so we can actually use this or basically implement our own, since this kind of is close, but the animation is basically not that big good enough. Not that it's not good enough, it's okay, it's okay, but kind of I need to add some changes and UI touches to ours to kind of like look good. So we have this again, but we have gone through almost most of this, not all of them, but I haven't seen anything close except the previous one we just saw. Okay, let's go ahead and start working with what we have here. So import material widget, animation color, so go ahead and import this. We have some changes we need to make. It doesn't know what is feather icon because we're not actually using feather icons, and we don't want this to be icon. So we are going to move this out and use a test widget there. So this should be a test. For now, that should be it, and this should actually say something like it should be also a test. Lights over here. I'm going to say what we're trying to do here. Okay, so over here we have an icon that we're iterating over and making changes to it. But if we move this, path and then use a test in there and then change on the test. So I can just comment this out and then right over here I'm going to say child to be a test. Okay. Okay, we'll just leave this for now. Let's try this out. Start our app. Hopefully there's no issues. We don't need to restart our app. So let's head over here and make use of this favorite tab button. We actually named it team button, but it shouldn't be team button. But let's this. Go ahead and save this. Let me see. Okay, we're having some issues. Let's say height and then mediocrity. Okay, I think that solves our error. Save this. But we don't want this to be this big. Just tap over here. Tap on that again. So you see the changes that we're looking for. So there are smooth movements. That's what we are trying to achieve here. We have lights and the background itself. We don't want to be changing the background because this is changing based on okay, I see. So one stuff we could actually do, first of all, I need to change this name of this stuff. Rename this to say something like favorite tab. So that should say favorite tab button state, favorite tab. Okay, the whole changes have been applied, so go ahead and make use of that. Okay, so that's still working. Next changes we need to make is basically remove the scaffold we have here, since this is a custom widget, so I don't need a scaffold on it. It is not a screen or something like that. So remove okay, let's center widget. Basically copy from container all the way to the ending part of this container. Copy that out and then basically delete this path and paste the container that we copied Yeah, that should work for us. Go ahead and save that. There we go. Try this again. Tap, 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 tap. Next we want to work on is the width. So we want the width to actually reflect what we are looking, what we have here. So almost the width of the screen. So I'm going to tap over here. I'm going to use media query. Okay, that extends. But normally you see that our animation will not be working that perfect again. So but we need to fix some changes on it. I want to reduce the height. So over here we increase the height, but we need to reduce that. So that kind of reduces the height for us. Let's see what we have. Okay. So the height here is actually 48 pixels, and the height we have here is actually 50 pixels. Okay. Let's add a padding around this. Here's the padding widget, and see the padding we have. So the padding is 16 pixels. Go ahead and say agent 6. That's only. Or you could actually say edge set symmetric and then target the horizontal path, which is this along this axis, horizontal axis, and then apply custom spacing. Yeah, that's it. Save that, and you to add a padding along that axis, and I think that's it for now. Not all. So let's add this from here to here is actually 26 pixels. Say this 26.0. Okay, that brings it down, and inside okay, so right now we want to kind of like be able to have this test shown, see, from here to here and here to here. I think we'll actually do that by just saying using spacer and a padding around the whole widget. In here we could actually do something like, okay, yeah, position light, try from the left, say because this (28) this is 27. So let's say the two left 28 from the left, and also this should be from the right, should be 28 from the right. Yeah, so there we go. So 28 from the right and 28 from the left. And let me see what else we need to do. So if you tap on this, so it's not getting to this end, and it's not getting all the way to this end too. So let's actually change the text. The text should say something like ATN one should say psychologist. Should say articles. And then we go ahead and start using that in our app. So I get this, so use a custom test on it. Do the same right here. Change that to 2. Save that. And there we go. So you have the psychologist test and the articles test. So this inkware that's kind of like wrapping the whole size box. So this particular widget. So we need to increase the width of that. So it shouldn't be circle avatar, so we don't want to use a circle avatar on it. I want to do something like so change this from circle avatar to a container. So I'm going to change that from circle avatar to a container. And I'm going to remove the background property and also so remove the 2 property. So next we're going to add this to say decoration. It's a decoration which is a box decoration. We want the color to remain permanent, so we don't want to be changing the color. For now, we're going to use our brand color on it, and I'm going to say brand. Is a brand color or app colors? So that should be app colors. Those I think it makes sense. We use theme. Okay, from the theme dot of context dot scaffold color. So for it, so the color will be a scaffold color, and we need border radius is 32. I think that's too much, so let's try something around 16. There we go, there we have it. Next is to actually say the width and the height. So I'm going to say height should be around the same height, the same height of our container, that's 50. So 50.0. Okay, I think that's too much, so let's try 45. So we have 45. Okay, just leave it at 42. And the width property, we could just say the width should be around, should I use a media query on it, or we could just use the width over here. $172. Let's try that out and see how that looks like, but I prefer using media query for it. So I have 172.0. Does actually make sense. We have this 172.0 and over there. Okay. Okay, yeah, let's actually leave it that way. um so should increase the radius property, so let's increase the radius to 20. Yeah, so you kind of like have the perfect rounded shape around it, because the parent has a rounded shape around it too. Let me see, and the parent background color should actually be different from what we have here. Let's see, no, so this color we want to use main brand colors. Head over here, and I change the color to actually look like what we have right here, so the same color that we have here. Making sure that this is actually kind of like a bit of space around it, not that too much. Let's move this a bit closer to the end, so it's kind of like I'm working with the alignment property of the container that's inside the transformed or translate widget. So let's keep on working there. The alignment property, we are just changing the x-axis. So the x-axis, we are using minus, meaning that we are moving it this way. So if it's plus, if it's positive, it goes this way. If it's negative, it goes this way. Okay, I think we have that. So let's center the test. So the test should actually be centered inside the parents widget. Yeah, so there we go. And the test shouldn't be D and L. So basically, it should be the same test of, so let's say this should be button test 1. So this should be that, and the second one should be basically this, got that to be 2. But that's too big. Let's start the test. So the test should be 500 by weight and 15 pixels by size. So test style, we're not going to be using this test style because I have a custom test style we'll be using. Let's say theme, but of context dot testing. Okay, yeah, so we're going to use headline test. It's a headline test, just we're going to use body body test 1 and 500 15 pixels. Yeah, there we go. But the color has to be different, so the color should be white. Let's see. Okay, it's not white. Okay, it should be dark, so that makes sense. So dark color. Yeah. Okay, there we go. I think we're getting closer. So this particular test here, let's try that one, and that should be 500 by 50. Is it the same? So it's, let's make sure it's the same test. Okay, yeah. So 500 by 15 pixels. Okay, nothing changes. It's still the same text. Let's copy this team data and head over here. I'm going to change the color because it's going to apply dark color to it. So we're going to say from our app color team, should be app colors dot pure white. So I'm going to use the pure white test on that, and do the same for the other test right here. Remove this test style. Save that. I think that's been applied here. Let's make sure of that. So, okay, 27 pixels, and this has a padding of left padding of what? So the right is 27, so 27 plus 27. Let me see. Okay, so kind of move that a bit. So let's say from the right, that should be around 38. Say 48. So do the same for this. From the left, that should be 48. I think that makes sense now. Try this. So you tap on this. Let's see if this is going to translate to this end. So you just basically change the test. Tap on that, just changes the test. So we need to translate this from this end to this end. And we could do that by multiplying this by, should be multiplied. Try 78. Okay, increase that a bit more. I'll try 98. Okay. Okay. That's too much. Let's see. No. Okay, that's still too much. So previous we have 172. So increase that to 182. That will take us to this end. What if we increase that to 182, 192, 199. Okay, so 200. So we'll put it like a bit. Okay, yeah, I think that makes sense this way. Let's try this animation again. Tap over here and moves there. Tap over here, moves there. Okay, so that's the bit of functionality that we're looking for. So you have this animation, you tap, it slides to this end. Tap on it, it slides to this end. I'm still maintaining the test right there. So this says psychologists. Now we are kind of like at the article section. Tap over here and it says psychology. So that's good. And one more thing we are not going to do here, but if you want to learn more about that, you could actually check out my Patreon, and I'll be showing how to do that. So basically right now we are doing something that that's not good by flutter best practices. So we are calling this set state inside here, inside our status listener. Is not advisable. So what we could actually do to make this better, but I will actually do this on my own and then publish it on my Patreon so you guys can look at it, because I want to move to other section of the app, is that instead of calling set state and using status listener here, basically wrap this with animated builder. So if you look previously, we have been working with animated builder, and what I mean by animated builder, I mean these widgets. So I think we use this somewhere here. Let's see, somewhere, I'm trying to think of somewhere we used it. Yeah, I remember. So we use this somewhere here in our home screen. So yeah, so that's the best stuff to do. So use animated builder for your animation, then passing your animation controller into it, and that will drive the animation and will not update other parts of the widget, because the reason why I say it's not the best practice is that whenever you are calling set state here, is actually updating the other parts of the widget that doesn't need to be updated. So that's why I'm saying we don't need to be using set state. Just wrap everything with animated builder and only update this particular widget and not other widget that doesn't need it. So that's just basically to increase is it productivity? Not productivity, but basically to make your app function well and kind of like speed up and not do whatever you don't want it to do. So that's a bit of advice there, but I won't be doing it right here in this stream, because we want to kind of like complete other stuff, basically adding these sections to the article screen. So that's it. So we have this functionality that we kind of have the animation working. Tap any section you tap, you see the sliding animation working. So let's move ahead and then start implementing the so under here we're going to say list view. So we're going to use a list view to list all these psychologists that we have right here. Basically we can actually tap that from, we can steal that, say steal, or basically you can copy that from our home page, because if you look at our home page, we have a similar functions in our home page. Like we have this list view, and that's exactly what we need here. You see there's no changes, so it's still the same. So basically copy this and put it in here, and then we can just work on our app to actually show what we need here, not exactly the same stuff, but this should be any psychologists that we kind of like favorite or we like, so it should be already appear here. So that's it. So I'm going to go ahead here and copy that particular function that I'm talking about. Okay, guys, we got a question. So, from my YouTube chat, so someone was asking, can you explain how to use media query? So basically, media query. Okay, let's go back here and explain that here. So basically, media query in Flutter can help you to do a lot of stuff. So, um, it's basically a class you can access with a context. So you have to pass the context parameter. Let me go head over here on top right here. So I'm going to say print to explain that. So media query. So is yeah, inherited widget and other stuff. So it's a class you can kind of like give you access to most of the stuff that is happening within that particular let me give an example. The screen, let's say this particular screen is a context. This particular section of our app is now a context within our tree that is visible to us. So anything that we are doing here, we can add whatever we kind of want to access here or do here. Some of them we can access it from media query. Let's say the height of this screen at this present point in time, the width of it, and let's say the orientation, the size, and most of the stuff, the theme context, the theme parameters can actually be accessed through this media query class. So, and how this works is that, so the best place to use this is by, let's say you want to build a responsive mobile app or a responsive desktop app or anything in Flutter. So you kind of like have to make use of layout builder, media combination of layout builder, media query, fractional and other stuff. So media query will give you the access. Let's say we want to get the access to the height of this screen, right? And then place these children within one particular section in this screen, but we want that to kind of like depend on different screen sizes. So let's say if we're using a screen that's smaller than this, so the display can just rebuild itself to actually take appropriate space that is required for the child, so that it will not it will not take the whole space that is not required. Kind of like it sizes itself to take appropriate position and position itself in a good place. Yeah, I think that's one part of how to use media query. So like over here, I can say media query dot of context. So remember I said you have to pass in the context property from this inside. I can say this particular context I want to get hold of. So over here there's a whole lot of stuff you can use it, you could get access to. So when I want to get hold of the size property, and inside the size property, you are going to have the width and the height of the screen and other stuff. So I say the width, and I want to place a child somewhere, let's say from the top here. I can move this out. Let me close this off. Let me save this. I'm head over to the favorite screen. So here we are. So they move this size box. I think this is the best place to explain most of it. So this size box, I still want to use the size box to move this stuff down. So if I remove this size box now, let me show you an example. Save this. You see this will go up here, closer to the this particular row here. I don't want it to be kind of close to it. I want to space it down a bit, and I want to space it down depending on the screen size that we are currently using, or the phone that the user is currently using. And I want it to kind of like take appropriate position and not kind of like not look good. So I kind of like use that size box. I can say size box, and then target the height property. But I don't want to use hard-coded size on it, but I want the size to be dynamic depending on the size of the device that we're using, like I said. So I'm going to use media query in there, get hold of the height of the screen. Then let's say I want to position it, let's say third of the screen on every screen that we are using. Let's say we are using a smaller screen. Let me give you an example of that. So example of that would be this. So our simulator here, iOS iPhone 12. So iPhone 12 is smaller compared to iPhone 13 Pro Max. So one-third of this screen should be third of this screen should be around okay, I can, well, let me give you an example. Say somewhere around there. Third of this screen should be somewhere around there. You see, they are not the same. Or let's say middle. So middle of this screen should be around there, and the middle of this screen should be around here. So they are not the same. So that's where you could use media query. So I want to position this at the middle of the screen. So I can just divide the height by 2. And you see that position at the middle of the screen. Say 1.5. So that's keep on moving it down. So 3 0 or 3.5. Yeah, so 2 or 2.5 or anything. So get the middle of the screen, just lay it out there or any particular position. And if you kind of like run this app on this screen, it will kind of like also be at this particular position, be displayed around this particular position. Should we run it there to see that? But if you run this app here, it will still display that. So basically that's what the media query can like do. We kind of use it in our app. Yeah, that's it. Or basically, again, another usefulness of it is that, let's say I don't want this property to be, I want the width to kind of like be the same, almost the same width across these different devices, and not kind of like have overflowed or moving out of the screen. You could actually do the same stuff by saying say container widget, color property. So you see this, colors dot amber, and then height property, let's say that should be 20.0. so we basically want this height to be the same across our screen. Then we could dynamically change this width across our screen without kind of like having overflowed or screen not containing our widget size. So I could just say media query out of context does width. So if I do this now, our container will take all the width of the screen, and we won't get any error. Even if our screen is smaller, it will still kind of like display itself to actually take that particular screen size. But if you don't want to take the whole of the screen, I can do that by kind of specifying some multiplying this particular width here by any double or decimal value that we want. So from 0.1 and above kind of like is kind of like shrinks it, reduces the width of the widget or the height of the widget that we are multiplying this stuff with. So 0.1, it will reduce it. Let's see what happened. Okay, we have an error here. You see, kind of like reduces it to this smaller width that we have here. So the more you increase that, the more you have your container kind of like taking some space. So kind of like constraining its space, but kind of also letting it to be constrained depending on the screen size. Yeah, basically I think that would be the perfect explanation. constrain it depending on the screen size that you're currently in or something like that. Yeah, that's it. So remove that, remove these changes that we did here. So we head over there. That's it. So minimize this, we don't need this anymore. Like I said, over here under this, I'm going to go ahead and copy some widget from here, and the widget I'm going to copy will be show filter list. Okay, I think that should be this. Go to definition of that. Okay, list view builder using custom user card. Go ahead and copy all that stuff right here. Okay, just copy that out. So that's basically what we're looking for, and then use the so I guess I just click off so on. Okay, I think we copied that over already. Just go ahead over here and paste that out here. So paste. So let's paste that here. So you have list view the builder list.empty list.length. Okay, that we are having an issue. So but let me see how we could actually solve this. We could just use a dynamic property, because right now we don't have anything like favorites to display here, but I'm trying to see how we could actually display what we want to display without having any issue. Okay, so we can actually use the same stuff, the same list that we have in our show filter stuff here. We can actually copy this show filter itself and then add it there, and then pass in the psychologist list that we want. I think that will actually be the perfect stuff to do. So having a list view, I can have this property called show filter, and basically remove what I added right here. It should be show filter, and then a comma under it, and then yeah. But it requires a list property, so I'm going to pass a list property. So right now I'm passing an empty array, so which will not display anything. Or am I gonna? So what do we get? Get improper use of get x. So we're having this improper use of get x. Okay, I see. Let's pass in something to it. So show filter. Okay, so this is what we are using it. So we are passing over here, we are passing a home controller, the psychologist, and we are getting our home controller from somewhere. Okay, so I see. Let's try using our home controller. For now, that's just for testing this out. So we need to kind of like implement the logic that we want later on. So just for the design, so we are going to use this and get dot. So you have the get package. Then in here, so that's how we are using that. So home controller or psychologist list. Pass that in here as a list. That should be it. Save that. Actually use expanded on that, or we could actually give it a specific size. So let's try one of those. Let's see what we get. So I can use expanded and this, so it could actually take the variable height that's the height that's available, or the space that's available, and that will fix our error that we're having. So this will look scrollable. I think that's it. Let's see what we have in our design. Okay, we still need to add this, but what's it called again? Tab bar, custom tab bar here. I don't know why we need that here, but it says we should add that. Okay, it says we are inside the profile page. If you look over here, so this should have a padding. So use a padding on it. So since it's expanded, we need say wrap with padding widget, and head over here, add padding that we need. So both on the left and the right property, the left and right padding. Save that. Okay, we should have this same exact padding here and almost the same exact padding right here. And again, we need a space from this top here to this top. That should at least 18 pixels space, and that's not much, so just use a size box right there and make that to be 18 pixels. Yeah, another a bit of 18 pixels of space, like from here. That's what it requires. Another one is basically to add a button bar that we didn't add, a button navigation bar. Remember, custom, so going to use our custom navigation. I think that's what we named it. Yeah, custom button navigation. That should be this. Yeah, so go ahead and save that. That's basically added here, so that makes sense. Let's see the design we have so far. Putting this side by side, which we have, okay, this, okay, and this, and then have these sections. So this and this, and last we have this. Okay, no, not this, but have the space, this scrollable, spacing around here, around it too. Okay, I think we are good to go. There's nothing else we need to change. The next thing we need to work on is that when you select on this, it should display, basically either it displays this or it displays this. So that's what we have to work on. And now another one is to add this functionality that kind of like shows if it displays a grid or how many columns it should display or something like that. Yeah. And how to do that is that we have to go to our favorite tab, and then know when the user is kind of like clicking on which particular side and which side the user have clicked on, and we could actually send a feedback up to the parents and tell the parents, okay, the user selected psychologist or articles or something like that, and that should be done inside here. So we have inside there where we're doing dismissed, so forward or reverse, and then we could actually say, okay, you clicked on this, so which particular button did you click on, which stuff should we display right here depending on the button that you clicked on. Or we could actually make this more easier for us to work with. What if we remove the tab from this and only have the tab to be here? So that would be basically saying removing the gesture detector, not the gesture detector, but okay, inkwell. So I'm going to remove the inkwell, but I'm going to copy out this property. Let's copy that out, and then for the test, I'm going to remove this. For now, save that. We still don't have any issues. Then wrap each of these tests with a gesture detector. So I'm going to say wrap gesture detector, and then add the functionality that we removed from the this section. So add the same stuff here. Wrap this with a gesture detector. Detector, yeah. Paste that here. If you go ahead and save this, let's try this out. Hopefully this works as expected. So tap over there. Okay, the animation is still working. Tap here, tap here, tap here. So no longer tapping on this is calling the animation, but tapping on any of these should call the animation. I think that's a good change that we did so far. So next off, we could actually say when you tap on this section, so we know that this is for the articles. We could actually update the kind of like a function, a callback function, I guess, called that whenever we tap on something and then position what should be displayed on the screen based on that. And we could actually do something like this. Let me say, so right here we have expanded. I have a tab view. So the tab view is basically this. Next we have custom search. Inside the custom search, so inside the custom search, let's okay. So button tab that has a tab controller and tab controller, so that works. I want to test something out here. So that's not actually a big issue. So say tab controller dots animate to okay. Okay. Do this the same way we did it here. We should have, like I said, a tab controller, and then all this will be wrapped inside tab bar view. Okay, and have children properties on it. Okay, that makes sense. So I could actually go over here, move this out, and move it into tab bar view. I could say tab bar view that has a children property. See, so tab bar view. Save this. Hopefully we don't get an error. Okay. Okay, so we need to pass a tab controller. We can actually declare that. Right here, inside the profile screen, we'll actually declare a tab bar view. So I could just say in here. Tab tab controller. Okay, so that's called tab controller, and length should be 2. Basic, that's fine. Basically past this, so basically this particular class that we're into, so this component is gonna be assigned to ticker provider. Makes sense. See, okay, so we have to use single provider state. Makes sense on it with. Okay, so that will solve the issue. And if you go ahead and save this, and then we could actually access this from anywhere we are at the moment. So inside our profile, because we already have our profile controller here, so I could actually say controller to be profile. Okay, we don't have it. Let's create a profile controller. Controller. Okay, that's fine. And I import this. And in here, you just call it here and say, okay, this dot tab controller. That should work. Save that. Okay, so it requires 2 properties. Let's say that the children should be 2. What is that? Okay, we just make this to be 2 for now. Save that. let's solve the error that we're having. Okay, so we're not having any errors again. So right now, there we go. These are tab var. So we should tap on this. It should actually show us another screen, and let's implement that functionality. So right now in our favorite tab should be calling a property called so favorite button. Let's add two functions that we need. Final, that should be callback, void callback, and we should call this unplaced untab favorite, untab psychologist. No, yeah, untab psychologist, and the next one void untab articles. I think these two should do. Then we could actually go ahead and call this function depending on the place that we want to call it. So right now the first one here should actually only take us to psychologist, and then we should call that function right here. Let's say so widget dot untap for the function, and the next one should be this. This should take us to articles. So say widget untap articles. Go ahead and save those two. So we are going to have an error right here, which we need to fix. So this should have two functionality. So one should be untap articles, and the next one should be untap so next one should be untap psychologist. In here we could just say, okay, when you tap on this, we want to call this dot tab controller dot animate to index 1. No, this should be index 1, and this should be, the next one should be index 2, no, index 0. So back to index 0. That should be it. Save that. And let's try that. So tap on this, you see it changes to a new screen. Tap on this, changes to another screen. So that's the functionality we are looking for, and it's working fine. Okay, so that functionality is working as expected. And next stuff we need to do is right now we are using a dummy data to show this, but that's not what we are looking for. We want in a situation we can actually have psychologists, understand, saved in our database when we kind of like say favorite a psychologist, and we could actually start the implementation right somewhere. So I could say over here in our home controller, so our home controller should actually call almost the same stuff that we did in our profile screen, because right here in our home controller we have this property to favorite a psychologist. I think it should be here. Yeah, so this property, so you tap on this, you favorite this particular psychologist. So this should actually be saved inside let's say inside a database that has access to all the favorite psychologists that we're making use of. So to do that, we could actually say Yeah, so first thing we need to do is to open a Hive box in our home controller. We open a Hive box. Before we open a Hive box, we need to register um, the adapter that we want to open, and then open the box that we want to open. And again, in that way, we have a box that can keep on adding different types of so we have a box for favorite psychologists, we have a box for favorite articles, and we could actually access both of them at any point in time using our Hive database. So the first task right now is to head into our model in our home. Now, yeah. So in our home controller, open this up, model. So we already have a psychologist model, right? But we need another model. So we're going to call this favorite. So favorite psychologist. Dot. So there's where the model is going to live in. We can actually take a look at how we created a model for Hive from our previous endeavor, and that should be right here. So this is how the model should look like. So you have a model type and have all these properties right there showing up. Go ahead and copy this and then make changes to what we want. Copy this stuff. Then head over here, saying underscore model, and that should be the same name as the file we have here. Rename this and copy it. There we go. So psychologist, favorite psychologist underscore model dot g. So basically the adapter, this is where the adapter is going to live in. Here we're going to change this, so we're going to say favorite psychologist model. Yeah, favorite psychologist model. Yeah, and it's going to have an image URL. Yeah, so yeah, an image URL from here. So we have that as a string. It should be type ID 2. We type ID 2 for it. Since you should have that, wait a second, let's see. Let me check something. That should be type ID 1, not 0. So let's give it a type ID 1. So I have string image URL. Psychologist should have a name. So the psychologist should have a name. The psychologist should have an email property. Basically, that should actually looks like our. Okay. I think something we could actually do is that instead of recreating this, we head over here and copy this psychologist model we have that looks like this. So this is all what our psychologist should have. So I have the UID, the name, the image, user image, experience style, area limit, minimum amount, specialization, place of work, country, currency, and about. For now, this is what we are going to add in there. Should I pass the articles that I've written? Should that make sense? I don't think that makes sense. I think this is enough for us. Just passing the about, currency, current country, all those stuff. Maybe education and reviews that I've gotten. Check if this, no, we don't need this part. Basically the reviews, education, this one. So that's all. Let's head over here. Just right here. Hive as field property 0. That should be for the name, string UID, and then create another as field property. Call this as field property 1. That should be for the name. Remove the final keyword from all this stuff. Okay, name property. So as field property 2, as field property 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, yeah, that should be 11 of them. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. And then use that in here. So I'm going to say required. Okay, so right here we did so you can go to remove this about section. We don't need it. This should be enough. And head over here. I'm basically going to run the code. Remember the code we did last time to actually build this. So yeah, packages the pub, the run, build run, and the build. So it will kind of like generate an adapter for the model we specified, which we need the UID, name, user image, experience, star, area admit, minimum amount, specialization, place of work, country, currency. So we need all this stuff to be able to display something like this in our right screen. So that's also basically run this command. It will generate our adapter for us. So that's generated. So we have our psychologist model, which you can actually see here, the adapter, which is showing up here and has been generated for us. And next we could do is basically say head over here. So we have that. So head over to home controller and basically init all those properties. Okay, we got another message. Okay, let's see. Okay, right over here, and I think I open something over that I want to kind of copy some code from. Copy the code that we actually did here. So basically it will be register Hive adapter and this section, and that's all. You need to change a whole lot of stuff. Um, should I be on ready? Import this, and then user profile model adapter. That's not the adapter we want to use. So the adapter we want to use is basically favorite that should go favorite model adapter. So this is what we want to use as our adapter. Use this and head over here. Basically use that right in here. Okay, once that's added, again will be open box, not user model. That's not the box we want to open. The box we want to open is favorite psychologist model. Head over here and use a right in here. And again, we need to access this property called Hive boxes. Let's import it first. But this is not the box we want to eat. Not eat. Come on, I'm really hungry right now. But the box we want to eat is basically eat again. The box we want to open is basically k profile. Let's say okay, favorite psychologist. Yeah, so favorite psychologist. So that's the box we want to open at the moment. Click save this. Change that to say okay, and again our user DB. So favorite psychologist. Let me see. Okay, not box, but at the moment should be the DB. So the DB that I want to open, still the same as saying that the box should be saying something like Hive box psychologist DB. Yeah, just put it that way so it makes sense that we remember it that way. Still saying the box. I'm sorry guys, I'm kind of contradicting myself there. Box or DB, any of them, database. So DB stands for database or something like that. And Hive we call it boxes, kind of like the boxes. And there's a favorite adapter. So there's a favorite model, and there's the box we want to open. Okay, and once that box is open, and it contains a model of this type, right? So it contains a model of this type, and we could head inside there and be adding so if you want to save something inside it, so we could actually do the similar way we did here. So in here we said save changes. So we could over here we are saying creating a model, and we're saying box.put. So we will not be doing it that way, but it's kind of like similar to what we'll be doing. So over here, I'm going to create a function down below here. It's going to be a void function, and I'm going to call that add favorite psychologist. So that's the name of the function that we'll be creating. Remove this code here, we don't need it. paste this, and this will be favorite model, and the boxes should be favorite deep box, not puts, because it's going to be as an array. So we're going to remove the put property, and it's going to be add property. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. So that's basically what we want to do. So remove this for now and leave that to be empty this way. And we are going to create final. We're going to say psychologist. So the psychologist that we want to add should be gotten from, so which of the psychology that the user tapped on. So when they kind of like tapped on this particular add function, so the user, the psychologist that at this part, or could just list through the psychologist and find a psychologist with particular ID, that particular user that the user selected, and then create a new favorite psychologist model with it. So this way, so that's what we're kind of going to be doing right now. So I'm going to say model. There we go. So this, so basically, let's say in there where we have, it's not going to be a string, so it's going to be a string. So once we tap on that, we're going to use this. Also, let's have a print statement here. Somewhere, let's have a print statement. Okay, psychology that was added, the name, and then head over to our home screen. But this will not be inside our home screen, but it should be home details page, and the button should be somewhere, because this is the button we are looking for. This is the button we are looking for, right at this end here. So that's the button we are looking for. Not outline. Okay, bookmark outline. Okay, that's it. So there's the button. I'm going to wrap it with, okay, gesture detector. Untap property goes this way, but I'm going to say something like home controller dot that function. So the psychologist that was selected, so this should have a property called okay, selected psychologist the value.id .uid. There we go. Instead of passing this, so we already have a property called selected psychologist, because you already need to select a psychologist before you can tap on this particular button. And you can't see this button without that particular selected psychologist. I think that's the whole scenario here. Because if you look through the design that we got here, let's see, if you look through the design that we have right here, I'll just leave it this way, just pass it like that, and then let's get back to our controller. So now we can get hold of now the index. So we got that UID. Get hold of the UID. So I want to look through this select psychologist list dot where first where elements element dot UID is equals to UID that we created. So that will be the psychologist, and in here we're going to create a model. First will be UID, and that should be from psychologist.uid. The next will be the name, psychologist.name, photo, photo as basically image URL, if I still remember. The user image, that should be psychologist.user image, and next will be specialization, okay, star, area admit, minimum amount, experience, about section. We don't have an about section. See what else we are missing. Country, so we have country property. What else do we need to add? Place of work, also let's see, country, currency, so currency. I think that's it. So we are done here. So if you save this, and again we can just say, yeah, save model. I just want to use a print statement to test something out. Right, I'm going to say, so there's the model. So there's the model and user DB. Okay, guys. Also we'll be stopping the stream here. And I'll start later back on. So I will stop in the stream here, and I will continue the stream maybe in 1 hour or thereabouts. So see you guys maybe in the next 1 hour or thereabouts to continue the stream. So I have something I need to kind of like do right now, or do like I said do. I'm complicating myself. So yeah, I have something I need to kind of like rush and do. So see you guys in few hours, probably in the next 1 hour, like I said. Yeah.